Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Duke Carter, and welcome to the Sunday edition on the Eyewitness News for the first day of September. This morning, we are continuing to track Hurricane Dorian making its way to the Bahamas, along with potentially catastrophic wind and storm surge. Current predictions expect the storm to hover over the region for at least a full day and then head to the U.S. Now, right now, you're looking at a live picture from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Beautiful picture right there. Beautiful. But this morning, the beautiful calm before the storm. Residents along the south coast all the way up to North Carolina are bracing for potential impact. And right now, we are going to switch gears and get a look at the weather here in our area. Meteorologist Chris Franklin has more.
Yeah, our weather looking very, very nice as we head into the next couple of days. But again, all eyes are still on Dorian.
Thank you, Chris. Breaking news from overnight. The Coast Guard is looking for a man missing in the Mississippi River near Venice. According to officials, the 27-year-old man was last seen swimming just after 5:30 last night in the lower Mississippi River near Fort Jackson. He was wearing a black shirt and blue shorts. Several crews are helping look for him by air and sea. Right now, that's all we know, and we'll continue to update and monitor the situation and, of course, let you know what we find out.
There's a shooting going on in Odessa, Texas. Oh God, they're shooting right there. Oh, he hits the barrier. The cop just hit the barrier. Get out, get out, get out.
Get out, get out, get out, get out.
It's crazy. This morning, we're following yet another mass shooting in America. Right now, at least 5 are dead and many others injured after a traffic stop turned into a shooting rampage. Now, the shooter was identified as a male in his 30s and was later killed at a movie theater near the city of Odessa. Now, that's actually a small city located on the western side of Texas, about 4 hours northeast of El Paso, which was the setting of another mass shooting just last month. Kenneth Craig has more.
Authorities.
3 officers were shot in the rampage. Their conditions are not yet immediately disclosed. However, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he will be traveling to Odessa today. And just after the shooting, President Trump tweeted that he had been briefed on the situation and that more information would follow. As of this morning, he hasn't said anything else. However, Texas Senator Ted Cruz sent out a series of tweets saying he and his wife are heartbroken and, quote, that they are thankful for officers who heroically risked their lives and acted swiftly to stop the shooter and save others. Former Vice President and presidential candidate Joe Biden also reacted online, tweeting he's heartbroken and sickened by the tragedy, saying the gun violence epidemic has to end. Senator Elizabeth Warren tweeted at Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell demanding gun safety legislation, writing, "America is done waiting for you."
But at the president's direction, we've deployed the full resources of the federal government. They're on site. The president spoke to the Attorney General. FBI is already assisting local law enforcement in the investigation going forward. But we'll continue to monitor those events, but the president's fully engaged.
This is not an act of God. This is not some natural disaster. This is a human-caused problem with a human solution.
Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke also spoke on the tragedy, and we'll continue to follow this story as it develops. Stay right here or head to our social media pages or our website, WWLTV.com. Well, a memorial honoring the life of pilot Franklin Augustus drew hundreds of people to the Lakefront Airport. Augustus died 2 weeks ago, as you know, when the plane he was flying in crashed. His passenger, Fox 8 News anchor Nancy Parker, also died. Augustus had a reputation for helping people, and we're learning he's still doing that even after his death. Nikki Davison has more. Now 6:26, it's every little leaguer's dream come true. Imagine being 11, 12, 13 years old and everyone is treating you like a rock star. And that's exactly what happened when 2 East Bank teams, or I should say what 2 East Bank teams got this weekend. The parade made its way down the streets in Jefferson Parish yesterday to congratulate the East Bank boys team who won the National Little League World Series championships and the East Bank softball team who won 2nd place in the Softball World Series.
I can't believe it. Hey, this is awesome.
Oh, it's just amazing to have everybody out here supporting us.
So cute. Well, this is the first time Louisiana has held a Little League World Series title. When we asked them what's next, Simply put, the players told us it's time to go back to school. Now, the honors did not stop there. The East Bank All-Stars will be honored today in Kenner at Freedom Fest. That's from 3:30 until 9 o'clock tonight. Both teams will also be riding on their own float for Bacchus next year, and the World Series champions will serve as the Grand Marshals for the crew of Argus. Well, we have lots more coming up on the Eyewitness News, including heads up for some families.
Hurricane Dorian heads toward
The storm in the Bahamas is expected to impact, get this, 73,000 residents and 21,000 homes. Now, Louisiana is also stepping up to help. 7 local ambulance teams with a total of 35 units and 80 personnel were sent to the areas in the storm's path. Now, they arrived in Florida yesterday. The governor's office says this is just one of several requests Louisiana offered to help Florida to help deal with this emergency. But now we're going to switch gears. We are looking at the weather here in our area. So the man of many hats, weather expert Chris Franklin, what can we expect today?
Well, actually, not a bad day and not a bad rest of the holiday weekend.
So it's not going to be hot. I'm not going to be
Oh,
sweaty.
well, no, it'll be hot.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, it won't be, but it won't be rainy.
Well, we will see some rain.
You know what? Just talk about the weather. I'm good.
We're not dealing with the tropics, Duke. We're not dealing with
I'll
this.
take that.
That's the good news. We are not dealing with Dorian.
Thank you, Chris. Well, let's get straight to the stories you need to know. Nearly 1 month to the day after the El Paso shooting, get this, there was another tragedy in Texas. 5 people are unfortunately dead after what started as a traffic stop on I-20. Now, the driver was pulled over for not using a blinker, and that's when he began shooting people as he tried to evade police. At some point, he stole a mail truck. Officers caught up with the gunman on a highway. He shot and wounded a couple of them before they returned fire and killed him outside a movie theater. The 3 officers and 19 other people were wounded. Effective today, the City of New Orleans juvenile curfew hours, that will switch over from the summer schedule to the school year schedule. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your kids, pay attention. Any child under 17 years old must be home between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 11 p.m. through 6 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Now, unless you're in the French Quarter, then minors must be inside 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. 7 days a week. That schedule will run through May 31st. Also, starting today, Louisiana restaurants that offer seafood on their menus must tell customers where they got it. This comes after a law recently signed by Governor John Bel Edwards this summer. It requires establishments to print on the menus where the seafood is sourced next to the item. If they get the seafood from a foreign country, though, they have to have a sign that says so at the restaurant's main entrance. And an update on the toxic blue-green algae that's been plaguing Lake Pontchartrain this summer. The State Department of Health says levels in the lake are now at levels deemed safe for swimmers, prompting the St. Tammany Fishing Pier to reopen today. Back in June, an advisory went out warning that an algae bloom was forming in the lake, which can be toxic to humans and animals. The state still says swim at your own risk, though. But as the weather cools later this year, the bacteria levels also should drop off even more. And automaker Ford is recalling more than 480,000 vehicles, including the Ford Explorer, Expedition, and F-150, over concerns regarding the strength of its seats. Ford states seats back in the impacted vehicles may not restrain people during a crash. They believe the seats may have been assembled wrong and could be missing a piece needed to keep them upright. So if a crash happens, the seat may lose its strength, increasing the risk of injury. So to find out if your car is part of the recall, you can check the recall section on Ford's website. The company says its dealers should be able to inspect and fix the problem. Get this though, more than 66,000 vehicles in Canada and Mexico are also part of the recalls. And speaking of cars, we do have an interesting update on that car that was pulled from the canal in Mid-City last week. It seems that actually went missing due to Hurricane Katrina. An insurance claim filed for the 2002 Mazda 626 sedan shows that it was lost on August 29, 2005, the actual day the storm hit the city. It was found near an open air area of the canal along the Lafitte Greenway, meaning it possibly floated there during the storm. Well, we have some breaking news to tell you all. We have now learned that Hurricane Dorian is now a Category 5 storm. This just happened moments ago. Chris Franklin is here with the details. So what exactly can you tell us right now?
There is no change in the track. So again, the track won't be issued again until 10 o'clock this morning, which we will be bringing you on Facebook Live, so you will be able to get that on social media. But again, just in, we have been talking about the fact that it was still very much possible that this was going to become a Category 5 storm, because really over the last several days there was nothing hindering any further strengthening, and that has occurred. Pressure is now down to 927 millibars. Motion is still to the west at 8. We are likely going to see that slowing down, but